Hello, welcome you for the session. Myself, Dr. P. Shivaranjani, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Application. So today we'll discuss about blogs in Java programming. A blog is nothing but is the one which will help you to allow the client application to view and update your blogger content in the forms of Google Data API feed. Your client application can use your blogger data, the API to create a new blog post. You can edit it, you can delete the existing post, and the query for blog posts that matches the particular criteria. So getting started to how to create a blog. First thing is you needed a library called as Java Client Library that requires a Java 1.5. After downloading the client library, you'll find the classes. You need to get started with Java library GData client hyphen 1.0 jar file. So the first thing is creating a blogger account. You may wanted to sign up for a blogger account for testing purpose. The blogger can use a Google account. So if you are already a Google user, then you can create a blogger account by the help of this Google account. So running the sample code, a full working sample client containing all the sample code is shown in this document, is available in Java Client Library distribution under the directory called as Data Java Simple Blogger Client.java. So building and execution instructions are included in the same directory. You will have a file called as readme.txt. The sample client performs the several operations on the provided blog to demonstrate the use of the blogger data API. So here, in order to run your sample code, the following import statement are required to compile your code. The first one is import com.google.gdata client, google.gdata data, google.gdata util, java.io exception, java.net.url. So these are the 5 important import packages which will help you to compile your code of your blogger. So next step is authenticating the blogger service. You can access both public and private feeds using the blogger data API. The public feeds do not require any authentications, but they are read-only. If you want to modify the blog, then your client need to authenticate before requesting the private feed. It can authenticate it using either two approach. The one is called as auth sub proxy authentication, or the second one is by using your client login, that is by using your client username and password authentication. So the first we'll see about auth sub proxy authentication. So auth sub proxy authentication is used by the web applications that needs to authenticate their user to the Google account. The website operators and the client code does not have to access the username and password for the blogger user. Instead, the client obtained the special auth stub token that allow the client to act the particular user's behalf. When the user first visit your application, they have not been authenticated. In this case, you need to display some informations and link directing the user to the Google Play page to authenticating a request to access their blog. The Java Client Library provides a function to generate the Google page URL. So here, this is the code for auth sub request URL. So I have used a string variable called as next. So this will contains the website of example.com, and I'm just giving a content called as welcome.html. This is the file to be loaded. The next one is the scope of the particular blog. So that will keep track of the scope. And the second one is, and the next thing is secure. And so defaultly the secure will be false. It means that it is a public. Next, the session is true because the session is activated. Then by using auth sub login, you can log in to the particular URL. So it will take these parameters, that is your next, scope, secure, and authentication as a parameters, and it loads your auth sub login. So here this auth sub proxy authentication will make use of get request URL method. It takes the following parameters to the query using the function called as auth sub request. The first one is next, second one is scope, third one is secure, and fourth one is session. Next is the URL of the page that the Google should redirect the user after authentication. Scope indicates the application is required as a token to access the Blogger feed. The scope string is used to will be in the format of URL encode, of course, and secure will indicates whether the client is required a secure token or not. The session indicates whether the token returned can be exchanged for the multi-used tokens. So the next one is client login, that is username and password authentications. Use client login authentication if the client is standalone, single user, install client. So just call the set user credential method on your Google service object, and all the subsequent interactions with your blogger will be authenticated. So here the Google service is make use of an object called as my service. So here I'm going to create a blogger, and the name of the blogger is example, co-example API -1. So here, and the password for and the username for the particular blogger is user@example.com, and password is secret password. So in the above code, we pass the two parameters to the Google service constructor. The first is the name of the service we wanted to interact with, and the second one is the name of your application, the form of your company name or your application names. So next one is retrieving the list of the blogs. The blog data API provides the feed that lists the blog for the particular user. The feed is also known as a meta feed. The following code will explain the authenticated Google services object to retrieve the meta feed and then prints each blog titles. So here I have used a function called as print user blog. I'm inputting the parameter Google service as an argument, and if there is any error has been occurred in requesting the feed, then it has to throw out the particular URL request. So here I have defined URL http://blogger.com feed default blog, and then the result will be displayed by the help of the particular page by the help of this object called as result field. So next step is I'm just printing the value of the particular results. So here I'm just displaying the particular content on the particular web pages. So you have to note down that your URL used by the getFeed method. So this is a default meta feed URL. It returns a list of blog for the currently authentication user to access a feed for the different user. You can also use the ID in the place of your default in the meta feed URL. The user's ID is a string of digits at the end of the user profile URL. So the next one is publishing a blog post. So you can use a Java client library to publish a new blog entries. So the first thing is you have to create an entry object to represent the blog post. Then you can set the title, content, and other attributes of the blog's port. Finally, you can use the Google service object to insert the post. So here we'll see the example how to publish a new post. So here I've used a function called as entry create post. So this will help takes an input argument of the services provider and the ID of the blog and the title of the blog and the content of the particular blog and the username of the particular blog will be an argument for the function called as create post. And throw statement is used to throw the IO exception when there is any difficulties is being occurred in posting the blog or publishing the blog. Then it has to find out the error and has to be thrown out. So create the entries to insert. I have created an entry for accessing the particular entry. I have created an object called as my entry. So based upon that particular my entry, I can able to get the particular title and the content to be displayed. The next step is asking the service to insert the new entry. So now the user is ready to enter the new post to the particular website or the particular blogger. So now you can use this insert method to insert the particular post inside your web pages or your blogger. So here the insert method takes this service post URL as a parameter. Then the method returns the entry as it's stored by the blogger. The entry returns is same one you send, but it also contains various elements added by the blogger, such as post ID. So the next one is creating a draft blog spot. Posts are created in same way as a public post, but you need to set the draft attribute of the entire entry object. You can create a post blog spot like the one of the above by adding the content like this, that is public static entry create post, and I'm adding the service blog ID, the content, the title of the blog, the content to be displayed on the blog, and the username of the particular blog, and whether it should have a draft value or it should have the requested data to the user. That's it, and you'll create an entry to the insert. So I have used my entry as an object to enter the particular content on the web pages. Then the next thing is asking the services to insert the new entry. So now I'm ready to enter the new entry into my blog, so that you can done by the help of this URL post. And finally, I'm returning the particular output on the web pages or your blogger. The next thing is retrieving the post. So you can query a blog public feed without authentication. So therefore, you need not to call set user credential method or to use stub authentication before retrieving the post from the public blog. So to retrieve your user post, call the get feed method to retrieve the blog from the meta feed. But now we are going to use send the blog post feed URL. So now by the help of the URL, I'm just posting the particular feed, that is by the help of this URL, that is by the help of URL, that is your protocol called as URL. I'm just posting the feed to the new blog. Then I'm printing the particular content to be displayed on the web pages. So next one is the retrieving in post. The Blogger Data API supports the following query methods. The first one is add category filter. Second one is set maximum result, set published minimum, set published maximum. So the first is add category filter. This specifies the categories to filter to feed the results. And set maximum results will set the maximum number of entries to return. Set publish minimum maximum will bounded the entry publication dates. The next is set start index. So this sets the one base index of the first result to the retrieving of pages. Set update minimum, update maximum, set the bound on the entry update dates. This query parameters are ignored unless the order by parameter is set to be updated. So next one is updating your post. To update an existing blog post, first you have to retrieve the entry you wanted to update. Then you can modify it, and then you can send it to the blogger using the update method. So this example will explain the title of the blog entries, assuming that you are already retrieved the entry from the server. So here this program, I have used a function called as update post title, and it gets the input parameter of the services, the content to be updated, and the title of the particular blog will be loaded. And by the help of this particular URL protocol, I'm just updating the link to be included in my web page. So next one is deleting a post. To delete a post, pass the post edit URL to delete the method on your Google service object. So by using a method like this, public static void delete post, you have to give the Google service, that is your my service, and then the editor link references. And you can use a command called as URL delete URL equal to new delete URL editor link here. So here now I'm going to delete the particular link to be deleted. That is already the post can be deleted by the help of the URL case. So that's it. Thank you all.